Good morning, students.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, yesterday we have done some problems on fixed beams. Have shared that material to your WhatsApp groups. Go through it. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the next class. You have any doubts in the previous class in continuous beams, fixed beams? Now, do you have any doubts in the previous class? Okay, I have shared the material today morning. Please go through it. If you have any doubt, I will explain in the next class. Okay, we are going to the next topic. Our next topic is the third unit, second chapter. Already we have completed third unit, first chapter, that is thin and thick cylinders. This one is third unit, second chapter. Just you have a RK Bansal soft copy. This I am explaining from the textbook only. The chapter number 9. Okay, chapter number 23, page number 957. It is on chapter number 23, page number 957. Okay, this is our topic. Number 23. Okay, this is bending of a curved bars. This is our topic. Previously, you have studied about rectangular bars in the first semester. Okay, you have studied about the rectangular bars, stresses in a rectangular bars. Then you have studied about the taper bars. Then you have studied about a uh, stresses acting on a biaxial stresses on a planes. Then you have studied about different types of beams. Then you have studied about columns, struts, and the deflection in beams. Now you are going to study about a curved bars. Understand what is the application of a curved bar? Where do you use the curved bars? The curved bars will be used in a crane hooks. If you see a crane hook, okay, the hook is in the form of a curve. It is a curved bar. So this is one of the application of a curved bar. Crane hook is one of the example. C clamp is also one of the example of a curved bar. Understand? Here you're going to study about curved bars. Okay, you're going to study about the curved bars. For a straight beams, the bending equation you will consider is M by I is equal to F by Y is equal to E by R. This is nothing but a bending equation. This equation can be applied with a sufficient accuracy to beams or a bars having a small initial curvature. Only for a small curvature, you can go for this bending equation. Okay, however, the machine members such as a crane hooks, chain links, rings, etc., which are having a large initial curvature, the simple bending equation cannot be used. Okay, if it is the curvature is very small, then you will go for bending equation. Why? Because if you consider a bar, we apply some load, what happens? It will bend. Then you will go for a bending equation. Understand? If the curvature is very large, if the initial curvature is very large, so we cannot use a bending equation. Okay. So we cannot use a bending equation. Okay, for example, like crane hooks, the curvature is very large. Similarly, chain links, also the curvature is very large. Similarly, rings, etc., which have a large initial curvature, the simple bending equation cannot be used. This chapter deals with the bending curve bars which are having a large initial curvature. The chapter you are going to study, which has a large initial curvature, actually large initial curvature, initial curvature. But if a radius of actually curved bars means bars of a large initial curvature. Curved bars means it is nothing but a bars with a large initial curvature. Those type of bars are known as a curved bars. How will you identify it is a curved bar means it has a large initial curvature, then you will go for a curved bars. Generally, if the radius of curvature is more than 5 times the depth of the beam, if the radius of curvature is more than 5 times the depth of the beam, then the beam is said to be having small initial curvature. But if the radius of curvature is less than 5 times the depth, the beam is said to be having a large initial curvature. Hence, for a large curvatures, the radius of curvature is small. Also, correct for curved beams, the neutral and centroidal axes do not coincide. Understand? For curved beams, the neutral and centroidal axis they won't coincide. Understand? Whereas the normal bars, the neutral axis and centroidal axis they will coincide, but for curved bars they won't coincide. Understand? That is one of the difference between the curved bars and the normal bars. Similarly, the initial curvature is very large. If the curve radius of curvature is more than 5 times the depth of the beam is said to having small initial curvature. But if the curvature is less than 5 times the depth, if the curvature is less than 5 times the depth, the curvature is less than 5 times the depth, then it is the curvature is less than 5 times the depth, the beam is said to having a large initial curvature. These are the differences between the normal beam and a curved beam. Understand? Beam with a curved bar and normal bar. Then assumptions made in the derivation of stresses in a curved bars. So the assumptions you will consider before deriving the expression of a stresses developed in a curved bars subjected to some bending moments. The following assumptions are made. One is transverse sections which are plane before bending remains plane after bending. Transverse sections means the stresses along the breadth. Understand? Okay, plane before bending remains plane after bending. Hooke's law is applicable. Hooke's law is nothing but stress is directly proportional to strain within elastic limit. This means the working stresses are below the limit of proportionality. The longitudinal fiber of the bar, longitudinal fiber of the bar, here when you see that, here the longitudinal point number 3, the longitudinal fiber of the bar parallel to the centroidal axis exerts no pressure on each other. This means that distance between any longitudinal fiber from centroidal axis is same before and after bending. Understand? What he is saying, the longitudinal fiber of a bar parallel to the centroidal axis exerts no pressure on each other. This means the distance between longitudinal fiber and centroidal axis is same before and after bending. Understand? Next is each layer of the beam is free to expand or contract. Each layer of the beam is free to expand or contract independently of a layer above or below it. Understand? Each layer is free to expand and contract. Then here I am going to explain. Here you have a two derivations here. The expression for stresses in a curved bars. Okay, I will explain this derivation in the next class. Okay. it takes nearly 1 hour. Okay, already we have completed 17 minutes. Okay, so I will explain this derivation in the next class. So expression for a stress in a curved bars. When you see here, he is considering the curved bar ABCD before bending. He is considering this is the curved bar. Those who are admitting, just message your roll number there in your chat. Okay, here you are considering this curved bar. Okay, ABCD, you are considering this curved bar. Okay, and it has a radius R, and here you are considering a one section EFLM, section EFLM with a width Y. Okay, this is the section EF. You are considering in the rectangular bar. Then you are applying the moments and everything. This is the derivation you have. I will explain this derivation in the next class. Okay. Then you will go to here in this derivation. The formula you are going to use is this derivation is known as a Winkler's batch formula. The formula you are going to derive is known as a Winkler's batch formula. Here he has given the formula you are going to derive is known as a Winkler's batch formula. Here you have a two formulas for this one. One is the maximum stress, tensile stress. It is denoted by the formula. भाई वो बकेट है उसमें डाल दो पैकेट है हाँ वो बकेट में डाल डालो सोडे भी डाल डालो स्टील की बकेट है देखो स्टील की बकेट हेलो so here you are considering the two formulas the tensile stress this one is the one formula m by ra into m by ra into 1 plus r square by h square r square by h square into plus y by r my r plus y. This is the formula you are going to consider. This is the maximum stress. This is nothing but a tensile stress, and this one is a other formula you're going to use. This one is the compressive stress. These are the two formulas you're going to use. Here M is nothing but the moment acting on the curved beam. R is nothing but radius of curvature. A is nothing but area. And H square is nothing but we have a standard formula for H square for different sections. Understand? For H square, you have a different standard formulas for H square values. I will also explain those formulas as well. And Y is nothing but the distance from the here when you see in the diagram Y is nothing but a the elemental distance from the centroidal axis. Y is nothing but the elemental distance from the centroidal axis. R is nothing but radius. H square is the standard formula, standard value you are going to derive from the formula. Understand? These two formulas will use. Okay, for maximum it is a positive, for tensile it is a positive. If you see here for tensile formula m by Ra into 1 plus R square by H square into Y by R plus Y. Here in this formula, compressive will write 1 minus R square by H square into Y by R minus Y. This is the difference between two formulas. Understand? The formula will be same. When you see this formula, Okay, when you see this formula here you have only a negative sign is the difference for tensile and compressive formulas. Then we will, this formula is known as a Winkler's batch formula. Understand? This formula is nothing but a Winkler's batch formula. I will ask in the 2 mark sums. Write a Winkler's batch formula. Then you have to write this formula: tensile stress and compressive stress, sigma tensile and sigma compressive. Then here you have a determination of factor H for various sections. Before that, you have a position of a neutral axis. For position of a neutral axis, you have one formula. For position of a neutral axis, you have one formula: y naught is equal to r into h square by r square plus h square. The h square value will be calculated from here. H square value will be calculated from here and substituted there. R is nothing but a radius of curvature. Here R is nothing but the radius of curvature. Here R is nothing but the radius of curvature of a beam. So this is one of the formula you need to remember: sigma tensile, sigma compressive, and this formula. These two formulas and the value of h square. Here you have the formula of h square is this one, that is r cube by a in. This one is the formula for h square. From this formula, you are going to derive for different sections, standard sections. But in the syllabus, when you see the syllabus, you have only three standard sections. One is a rectangular section, another one is a trapezoidal section, in circular section. Understand? You are going to calculate the stresses in a curved bars with a rectangular section, trapezoidal section, and circular section. Here also you are going to derive the values of h square for a rectangular section. Okay, I will explain this derivation also in the next class. Okay, it is a simple derivation, go through it. Okay, I will say, I think you have this soft copy, just go through it. In the next class I will explain these derivations. So when you see here you have h square value for the rectangular section, that is r square into, this is the value. Okay, r square into d by 2r whole square plus 1 by 5 into d by 2r whole to the power of 4. Similarly, you have a triangular section, but in the syllabus there is no triangular section. Okay, you have a trapezoidal section here. Have a curved bar h value for trapezoidal section. Okay, here he has given a trapezoidal section with a radius r. R1 will be the initial radius, R2 will be the outer radius, and here we are considering a section. Here you are considering the section with these given values. R1, R2, B1, B2 and B, you are considering some rectangular section here, and D will be the depth. Okay, here you are considering these values. Here you have a R value as well, the length of the section. When you see here, you'll get the formula is this one. Formula will be, this one will be the formula for this section here. Next you have a circular section. Again for the circular section also, you have derived the h square value. For circular section also, we have derived the value of h square. This one will be h square is equal to d square by 16 plus 1 by 28 d to the power of 4 by r square. This is the formula for circular section. These are the basic formulas you need to know to solve the problems. Totally you have a, one is a sigma tensile stress, compressive stress, which is derived from a which is a Winkler's Batch formula, and another one is a distance between the neutral axis and the centroidal axis y naught. One formula is there, and you have a h square formulas for rectangular section, trapezoidal section, and circular section. If you know these formulas, you can solve these problems easily. Then we are going to the problem directly. When you see the problem here, here he has given determine location of neutral axis, maximum and minimum stress, and ratio of maximum and minimum stress on a curved beam of a rectangular cross section of width 20 mm and of depth 40 mm is subjected to poor bending moment 600 Newton meter. The beam is curved in a plane parallel to the depth. The mean radius of the curvature is 50 mm. Mean radius is nothing but r. Also plot the variation of the stresses across the section. Here you have to plot the stresses. Here he has given a curved beam of a rectangular cross section. Here he has given the width as 20 mm, depth as 40 mm, and here he has given area will be 20 into 40. Radius of curvature is and radius of curvature here it is capital R, and bending moment is this one. M is equal to 600 Newton meter. He has given 600 into 1000 Newton mm. All the dimensions are in mm, so you are considering this as a mm. Understand? Then when you see here, here he has given, we have drawn a diagram with a depth, width as 20 mm, depth as 40 mm, width as 20 mm, depth as 40 mm. Okay, here you are considering the centroidal axis, that is nothing but the centroid is at a distance of 20 in the center of the triangle, and here the neutral axis you are considering, the neutral axis at a distance of y naught from a centroidal axis. Here the neutral axis will be at a distance of y naught from the centroidal axis. The neutral axis is at a distance of y naught from the centroidal axis. Is it visible? Well, the neutral axis is the distance of when మీకు కనపడుతున్న స్క్రీన్ is the screen is visible? Okay, see here. Is it visible to you? చెప్పేది అర్థమవుతుందా మీకు? ఎవరో ఒకళ్ళు ఓకే. నెక్స్ట్ when you see here, Okay, okay. Next, when you see here, okay, next we are going to the problem here. We dimensions, and he has given all the dimensions, required dimensions, width, depth, and area. The given data is given radius of curvature r, bending moment. Directly will substitute in the formula. You know the formula of, you know the formula as y naught is equal to r by h square by r square plus h square. You know this formula. Using this formula, okay, you can calculate all the values. Using this formula, you can calculate. First, you will calculate. You need to calculate the value of h square here. Understand? You need to calculate value of h square. H square formula is r cube by d into log e into 2r plus dy, 2r minus d minus r square. We'll substitute all the formulas. D is nothing but a depth 40. Then you will get a value of h square. After getting the value of h square, we'll substitute r and h square value here. Here we will get a value of y naught. Understand? Here we will get a value of y naught. After getting the value of y naught, here he has calculated with another formula as well. The రెండు formulas ఉన్నాయమ్మా. When you see in the derivation, here you have a two formulas. You can go for any formula. In terms of r square into simplified formula ఉంది, ఈ formula ఉంది, ఏదైనా యూజ్ చేయొచ్చు. Okay, he has used both the formulas. He has substituted the values here. The value of h square is 146.05 and the value of y naught is minus 2.76. The value of y naught is minus 2.76. Then the maximum and minimum stresses. The stresses you are going to calculate. The formula for sigma is m by, here you have a formula m by r into a into 1 plus r square by h square into y by r plus y. You are substituting, you know the value of m as 6 lakhs and r is 50, area is 800. 1 plus r square is 50 square, h square is 146.05 and here you have y is minus 20. The value of y is minus 20 by 50 minus 20. The value of y is, for a given value of m, r and a, the stresses will be maximum when y is negative and maximum. Hence the maximum stresses will occur at the extreme bottom layer where y is equal to minus 20. Okay, why you are considering minus 20 means at a maximum value at a bottom layer you have a maximum stress, so you are considering y as a minus 20. You will get a value of sigma max. Then maximum stress occurs at the extreme top layer where y is equal to 20. Understand? Minimum stress occurs at extreme top layer where y is equal to 20. That is sigma minimum is equal to 66 lakhs by 50 into 800 into 1 plus 50 square y. This value here you will get minimum stress. Understand? That is nothing but a tensile stress. Okay. Here this one is a tensile stress. Then ratio of maximum and minimum stress. He has asked in the question. Okay, calculate the ratio of maximum and minimum stress. The ratio is 1.767. Then plotting the stress across the cross section. The formula for stress is this one. Here you are considering the values of y. Y is equal to 0. You are substituting y is equal to 0 in this formula. Y is equal to 5. Y is equal to 10. Y is equal to 15. Then here you are substituting y is equal to 20. Then here you are substituting y is equal to y naught is equal to minus 276 mm. Sigma is equal to 0 at neutral axis. That is sigma is, you will get a sigma value as a 0. Then y is equal to minus 5, minus 10, minus 15, minus 20. After calculating all these values, here you are drawing this curve at 5, 10, 15, 20, at 10 minus 15 minus 20. Okay, in this way you have to solve this problem. Understand? Emma, anybody has any doubts? Very simple problem. Just you are using the formula and substitution. Has given all the data. Has given all the data. Using the data, you're substituting using the data, substituting all the values. ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా ఇందులో? Is there any doubt in this problem? Is there any doubt? Is there any doubt? Okay, next we'll go to the next problem. That is a trapezoidal section he has given. He has given determine the location of a neutral axis. This is the problem he has given. Okay, this is the problem he has given. Determine this problem we are going to solve. Determine the location of a neutral axis, maximum and minimum stress when a curved beam of a trapezoidal section, bottom width 30 mm, top width 20 mm. Here he has given bottom width as 20 mm, top width as 20 mm, bottom width as 30 mm, and height is 40 mm. He is subjected to pure bending moment of 600 Newton meter. He is subjected to a pure bending moment of 600 Newton meter. The bottom width is towards the center of curvature. The radius of curvature is 50 mm, and the beam is curved in a plane parallel to the depth. Also plot the variation of stresses across the section. Okay, he has given all the data. Whatever the data is given is V1 as a 30, V2 20, depth is 40, moment is 60 Newton meter, convert into mm, and radius is 50. Okay, if you get all this data, you're calculating the formula for D1 and D2. Why you are calculating the formula for D1 and D2 means, here you have radius R1 and R2 means, here R minus D1, R plus D2. Here D1 is nothing but B1 plus 2B. When you see here you are using this formula B1 plus 2B2 by B1 plus B2 into D by 3. Get a D1. Similarly, D2 is equal to 40 minus D1. Then you are calculating R1 here, R1, R2 and area. Area is nothing but B1 plus B2 by 2 into D. This is for a trapezoidal section. Now let us now find the value of h square. Here he has given the x square formula directly. So substituting all the values, you know the values of R, A, B2, B1, B2, D, and you are substituting all the values and calculating the value of h square. After calculating the value of h square, you know the value of the distance between the neutral axis and centroidal axis. The formula is y naught is equal to minus r into h square by r square plus h square. You are substituting here, you're getting y naught. Then the standard formula for maximum and minimum stress is sigma is equal to m by r into a into 1 plus r square by 1 plus r square by, this is the formula you are into 1 plus r square by h square into 1 by y by r plus y. The stresses will be maximum at extreme bottom layers where y is equal to minus 18.67. So you are substituting y as minus 18.67. Minimum stresses occurs at extreme top layer where y is equal to 21.33. This is the compressive stress. This is a tensile stress. Then here also you are plotting the stress across the section, substituting in the formula. So here at y is equal to 21.33, you are calculating 15, 10, 5, 0, minus 5, minus 10, minus 15. And here you are drawing the curve here. Using this one, you are drawing the curve. Using this one, you are drawing the okay, using this one, here we are plotting the curve for this one. In this one, you're plotting the curve like this. Understand? This is one problem. In the similar manner, you have a problem on circular section as well. Understand? Here he has given determine position of neutral axis, maximum and minimum stress when a curved beam of a circular section of a diameter 100 mm is subjected to a pure bending. Moment as 11.5 kilonewton meter. The radius of curvature is 100 mm. Here he has given a depth, moment. He has given in Newton meter. You are converted into mm. Then radius of curvature is 100 mm. Here you are calculating the formula y naught is this one. So first you are calculating the formula as first you are calculating the formula as first you are calculating the formula here. So this one is the formula you are going to calculate. The value of h square here you are going to calculate. After calculating the h square, you are calculating y naught. Then you are calculating the stress sigma max and sigma minimum. Just ask to calculate sigma max and sigma minimum. When maximum at extreme bottom layer, whenever you are calculating the maximum stress, you are considering y is equal to minus 50. Whenever you are calculating the minimum stress, you are considering y is equal to plus 40. Plus 50 here, you will get a compressive stress and tensile stress. Okay, understand? Ma, do you have any doubts in these three problems? Ma, anybody has any doubts? Okay, next we are going to, these are the basic problems which are on bending curved stresses, curved bars with the direct stresses. Now we have a another problem extension with this one, extension with different types of applications. Here you are going to calculate the resultant stresses. This one, the resultant stresses in a curved bar subjected to a direct and bending stresses. Here we have you are considering the load as direct stress as P by A. You know that this is the bending stress due to curved bar, and here you have a direct stress, that is P by A. Just you are adding this one, sigma R is equal to resultant stress is equal to direct stress plus bending stress. Already you know you have derived the bending stress, that is nothing but the Winkler's-Walsh formula here. This one is the formula for the resultant stress. Understand? This is the formula for resultant stress. Now we are going to solve some of the problems on resultant stresses in crane hook. Understand? When trapezoidal section is given, we'll explain these problems in tomorrow's class. Understand? We have it. Four problems are there. Three problems are there. One is resultant stresses in a crane hook. Okay. With a trapezoidal section. Another one is, this is another problem with a crane hook with a trapezoidal section. We have a C section with a circular section, with a circular cross section. Okay, these are the problems you have. Understand? If you complete these problems, then this chapter will be completed. If you complete these problems, we'll complete this chapter. Okay. So You are going to solve these three problems in next class. One is trapezoidal section with a crane hook. Another one is also a trapezoidal section with a crane hook. Another one is circular section, C section with a circular cross section. These are the problems you are going to solve in the next tomorrow's class. Do you have any doubt the above three problems? Do you have any doubt in the above three problems? ఎవరికైనా డౌట్ ఉంటే అడగొచ్చు. Okay, before coming to the next class, just go through those derivations. Wrinklebach formula, the formula for h square for rectangular section, circular section, and trapezoidal section, and solve those three problems. Understand? Solve those three problems which I have explained. Okay, I think you have this soft copy. Otherwise, I will send to the WhatsApp. Okay, I will WhatsApp this textbook, PDF textbook to your WhatsApp numbers, or they will post in your group. Just go through it, solve those problems. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the tomorrow's class. Okay, I have sent the yesterday's material as well. Go through it. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the tomorrow's class. Okay, do you have any doubts? This is one of the easiest chapter. Only you have 3 to 4 formulas. Very easy. Directly will give the problem. Okay, write down the given data and substitute in the formulas. Okay, this is one of the important problem. Compulsory will ask one essay question and two short answer questions from this topic. This is chapter number 3. This is from unit 3, chapter 2. Chapter 1 is thick and thin cylinders. Already we have completed. This is unit 3, chapter 2. Okay, go through it. The derivation is also important. The derivation he will ask, the derivation also sometimes. So go through the derivation, go through the derivation of Wrinklebach formula, then go through the derivations of h square, of rectangular section, rectangular section, circular section, and trapezoidal section, and go through those problems. Okay, please practice this in the notebook. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Understand? I think everybody has sent the roll numbers. Okay, I will take the attendance from that one. Anybody has any doubts? Anybody has any doubts?
Sir,
చెప్పమ్మా, ఎవరికి ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయమ్మా? ఎవరికి ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా? Okay, if you don't have any doubts, okay, I will close this section. Okay, thank you for attending. Okay, tomorrow you have the class at the same time at 7 o'clock. Please inform all your friends. Okay, only 40 students have attended today. Okay, we are considering this attendance as well. We are sending this attendance to higher education. Okay, we are considering this attendance as a daily class attendance. So inform them to attend all the online sessions. Okay, thank you very much. Just go through it. If you have any doubt, I will send the soft copy as well, PDF copy to your WhatsApp. Just go through it. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the next class.